Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. I'm going to really deep dive into the missing Lily and Jack Sullivan case, who's been missing since May. Is absolutely bizarre in where they are, and they just wandered off. Let's really look into this case.
After almost 6 months, Daniel Martell doesn't believe Lily and Jack Sullivan are in the woods near their home in Lansdowne Station.
Everything's been searched at this point, so I think everyone's just looking to, what's the alternate, what could have happened to the kids other than being in the woods.
The kids were reported missing from their home in Pictou County on May 2nd. Since then, there have been extensive searches with cadaver dogs brought in and RCMP combing through more than 800 tips and over 8,000 video files. Despite little results, Martell says he's doing everything he can to advocate for the kids.
I'm just trying to keep the public informed as much as I can. And I don't know if I'm the best voice to be speaking for Lily and Jack, but I'm still going to do it anyway, and it's for the kids.
Martell was one of many who attended the silent vigil at Stellarton's RCMP detachment to mark Jack's 5th birthday on Wednesday evening, many of who came with the hope the event will keep the story at the forefront. For the maternal aunts of the kids, the last 6 months have been difficult, especially with speculation and accusations online about the family.
Absolutely miserable. It's a nightmare that I wish we could just wake up from, and I wouldn't wish this on anybody.
Vigil organizer Kent Corbett says the event is an opportunity to show support to the family and bring the community together.
We can let the family know that Pictou County and Nova Scotia and beyond are not going to rest until we find answers and bring Jack and Lily home.
Pictou County's warden adds their disappearance has significantly impacted the area, but cautions against speculation about the case.
They belong to all of us. It takes a village to raise a child. Well, it also takes a village, the whole county, to protect these children.
For Martell, he's touched with how many people came out for the kids.
People are still standing here in the cold, just, for Lily and Jack, especially Jack on his birthday.
Angela Capobianco, Global News, Stellarton, Nova Scotia.
Daniel Martell coming out again. He's there again, basically in the news. I mean, he seems pretty confident that the kids are not in the woods. It seems like sometimes he knows a little bit more than what the police does. Now, one of the parents says Sandy in the chat knows, or both, those poor kids. I agree. I totally agree. And it's about time we've really got answers in there. Answers very, very soon. I think both he seems nervous to me in every interview. He's been the only one who has done media interviews and searching. The mother left right after they reported missing. She seems suspicious. She did, yeah, but right. Did she leave though? Because she knew what he'd done to them, or vice versa. You just don't know. I know I'm speculating, but it is very, very strange case. I believe him, and it's been obvious the little ones weren't in the woods from the start. How loud do people, step-parents, need to scream? They're not in the woods. They should have stopped looking in there after weeks of searching and put their manpower into adoption. I've said that from day one. Our children are not for sale. Remember the Chris Watts cooperative in the police too? Just saying. Yeah, I totally agree with that. The mum knows. It's weird. It's very, very strange. Look, if she didn't want to be with Daniel, yes, he did have a baby off Malaya. But if she wanted to up and go, she would have gone and taken the kids away. She would have gone at any time. This is very, very strange. It's like I said, Daniel's the one coming out, and he seems to come across as innocent. This is what I'm saying, he seems to come across as pretty innocent. But then when he talks about the land and they're not there, and we've searched that place, I know that place, and like I said, he's very, very smart in the wilderness and what he knows and what he doesn't know, to be honest with you. But I can't see kids wander off and not coming back. So the last confirmed sighting. The children were last seen in public with family members on surveillance video at a Dolramar store in New Glasgow on May the 1st, the day before they reported missing. So that was on camera. Police investigation, the RCMP Major Crime Unit has conducted numerous interviews, reviewed thousands of video files, and received over 860 tips. But it didn't get us nowhere. Those 860 tips didn't find the kids. It's as simple as that. You know, we're nowhere near basically finding them than we were at the start of the case. It's just as simple as that. The children's mother, stepfather, biological father, and grandmother all underwent polygraph tests when the parents of biological father passed for the specific questions asked. Evidence found pieces of Lily's pink blanket were found in the woods, and a garbage bag at the end of the driveway, and a boot print matching Lily's size was found on trail. Why one boot print? It's just absolutely bizarre. It really is bizarre. The case is very active. Investigation authority is not currently considered criminal in nature by the RCMP, and there's no evidence of abduction. How do they know that? They haven't even found the kids. How did they know those kids wasn't abducted? They don't know. The government of Nova Scotia is offering a reward of up to $150,000 for information of investigative value that leads to finding the children. And anyone with information to the whereabouts of Lily and Jack Sullivan is urged to contact the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit at 902-896-5060. That's again at 902-896-5060, or submit an anonymous tip through Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222. And the code there is 8477, or via P3 Tips app. The thing is, what I don't get is basically is that I don't believe they were both sleeping. Malaya was basically sleeping at that time. I just don't believe it. I find it very, 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 very hard with kids sort of playing up early morning, that their eyes were actually taken off them. And like I said, is it true that they could have gone early in the morning in a car? But surely, if they're still in Canada, they would have been found now, or someone would have spotted them. This is what makes me think I just don't think they're alive. It's really bizarre, because like I said, those those kids' faces and pictures, in the pictures are across the whole world. I know there was supposedly sightings of them in the States and other places as well. You just don't know. You cannot write anything off. But this is one strange case. It really, really is strange. And obviously the neighbours saying that basically they heard a car driving around, and one neighbour said it sounded like Daniel's car. You do sometimes, when you hear an engine and you do know who that person's car is as a neighbour, you get used to that sound. So why would he say that? That is really, really odd. And Malaya is saying basically she doesn't know when Daniel went to bed, and Daniel said he went to bed early. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. But are they smart enough to actually murder a child and bury it somewhere? I do think at the end of the day, if these children are found, I think it's going to be quite away from the home, to be honest with you. I really, really do. But like I said, it just seems like we're going around in circles. It seems like the family don't really know what had gone on. There was a lot of speculations earlier that they were, taken away by that special tribe, that organisation. I doubt it. Because the police would have basically checked that out, or send their investigators up there. And look what Sandy said. Remember, the Chris Watts were cooperating with the police to just saying, yeah, that's a great point. That is a really good point. We know that there was obviously Daniel's got drug problems. And I think one of the reasons I'm not saying he's done nothing, but we just don't know. We're going to never know. So he's always going to remain a suspect as well as Malaya. This is a really, really odd case. Right, let's just see what other people are saying. I'm not pointing the finger at nobody. I just have a question. Why ain't the mother doing any talking to the news reporters? Because she should give you a break and let her do some talking. It's crazy how the whole thing just kind of stopped. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if people have said that Malaya may have had a violent episode and possibly did something to the kids. But why would Daniel help cover that up? That is just absolutely sick. It's absolutely sick. I'm going that basically they were taken. I don't know whether they were are still alive or not. But the longer this goes on, the longer it goes on, the longer people have not seen them or spotted them, the longer you say they're basically dead. But why? What is the reason behind it? What are the reasons behind it? And if they were seen on May the 1st, it's just bizarre to me. It really, really is bizarre. It really is bizarre. Someone knows something and they're not saying. And the police have checked all these leads and we've got no answers. And the case has gone cold again. And then we've got Daniel coming back out, who's not a suspect. He hasn't been charged with anything. He's always come out and said he hasn't basically done anything to the kids or killed the kids or buried them or anything. He's always come out and been quite transparent in what he said. And in some ways, I give him a little bit of respect for that. But like I said, obviously the Chris Watts case, at the end of the day, he was helping the police with investigations. So nice. And this guy was a maniac. So we don't know. But like I said, I think really at the end of the day, this case should be priority again. Because like I said, months and months and months had passed. They went missing on May the 2nd. And we still haven't really got any answers. We're just going around in circles. It's really, really bizarre. We've got a mum, Malaya, who doesn't talk. She says that basically that the police have told her not to basically speak to the public or to the news. But Daniel's doing it, coming out. But I mean, I know it sounds a little bit weird, but like I said, it seems like to me that, like I said, he's enjoying it a little bit as well. It's all really messed up to me. It really is. Shelley says it's odd that their bio parents haven't spoken to the media to keep this story alive. It's like they have both dissociated themselves, from the case. When I think the other case parents do speak to the media when able to. Of course they have. Satellite view of that time frame. Yeah, that would be interesting. Someone took them. Where is the mother through all of this? Trafficked. I stand by. They are with someone. I mean, that's a possibility, but are they still alive? That's the question. I wouldn't be able to establish or sleep or to EST or sleep, if the child was missing, and my voice would be loud, so loud noon could stop me. No one could stop me. This is so sickening. Those babies deserve to be found. Where does the little children disappear to? 6 months. That's way too long. Prayers of the sweet little children whenever they both. And now we are thinking of you both, sweet children. Prayers may be found coming from NWT. Thank you. The search dog, unfortunately, probably found them last night. They have been going on to, this is my point, too long now. So what is the verdict? As they ever going to wrap it up and come to a conclusion? Yeah, we're at that point, I think, people, where we need answers in a lot of these cases we look into. The Jay Slater case, still haven't really got the truth, even though it was deemed as an accident. you know, there's still some really, really odd stuff which is still going on now. We then look at this case, and then obviously the missing boy Gus in Australia, and the police haven't even arrested them or brought them in for questioning, which is really weird. Or, you know, give them a good talking to in where these kids are. Interrogated, that hasn't been done. In this case, Daniel has done everything asked of him. Malaya has as well. But like I said, it's a strange case. Strange case. And like I said, we've got conflicting stories of what Malaya said to Daniel said that evening, and when they went to bed, that was really, really strange. It does seem like to me Malaya wants to be, you know, sort of 100 miles away from the case, but they heard him playing the kids that morning, and they obviously gave some kind of time span as well, which is bizarre. So someone's lying, and let's hope we found the truth soon, because this is a case that this has to be resolved, because these two children are very, very young, and they, you know, they deserve, if they're still alive, a life that we do know that they're safe and well. But like I said, I'm sorry, but Daniel, Malaya, even though they haven't been charged, until these kids found, and that's when we're going to know the truth. Let me know what you think, people. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and follow the channel. Thank you.